Vinyl community. Sorry about the hot mess. Just got up a little bit ago. Been out of town for a while, so wanted to make this video, first video back, I guess you could say, from a nice little time off. But this is for Chris for Tunes from the Man Cave. He's having his 500 subscribers contest, which, as you can tell, he's obviously way over that by now, and on his way to 1,000, I'm sure. We share a mutual love for jazz music, as many of you do that probably watch my channel as well. But you know, great knowledge on the subject. Love his passion. Love, you know, his brings his family into his videos. I'm a big family guy as well, and yeah, it's always been, you know, every time he posts a video, I'm always there to watch. Don't always comment, but I'm always watching, buddy. And this is his Tonto Jump On It 500 subscribers video. So turn down the lights a little bit. There we go. And so here we go. It's 5 questions. Kind of get to know, you know, us a little bit better, and kind of get involved in his channel a little bit. So he kind of came up with these questions, and so here we go. First question: record that reminds you of your family and why? Well, that one was kind of easy for me. This song was actually the first song that my wife and I came out to as husband and wife at our wedding. Yeah, so it's Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. So we kind of mulled over several songs when we chose it, but I know we ultimately decided on this one. She's not really a small town girl. She wasn't living in a lonely world, but I don't know, it just kind of fit, and everyone at the wedding seemed to enjoy it, and yeah, so that's what reminds me of me and my wife every time I hear it. And so kind of a cool one because they always play it on the radio or wherever. So a record that reminds you of your kids and why? Well, last year this artist came to Dallas. She did a world tour, obviously, but my daughter is a huge fan, and we even dragged my 11-year-old son to the concert as well. And so it kind of reminds me of that, you know, every time I hear this artist, which is quite often as well. That would be Taylor Swift, and this is Reputation. This was obviously the concert we saw last year. This was her, you know, last album to come out. I'm not a Taylor Swift hater. Pop music has its place in our culture, I think, and if it gets my daughter listening to music, I'm all for it. So this record reminds me of my kids because both my kids were present at this concert. So favorite beverage to enjoy while listening to records? Well, I actually have 2, because, you know, I have 2 listening spaces. Right now I'm in my record room, den, man cave, whatever you want to call it, which I still need to do a room tour on. I'm sorry I haven't done it yet, but up here I'm not allowed to bring anything else, and the kids as well. We can't bring anything upstairs except for water. So water is my beverage of choice while making records, or making videos upstairs, or while listening to records. Well, downstairs it would be coffee, because that's where the coffee machine is. I'm usually listening to records downstairs in the morning, or, you know, midday. So I usually like to have a cup of coffee while I'm sitting there listening to maybe some jazz or maybe some other things. But yeah, so that would be for downstairs coffee, upstairs water. Favorite record from favorite genre? Well, I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone here. I kind of credit this artist for getting me into this genre. This was almost, I mean, obviously I'd heard Miles Davis, Coltrane, the names before. I'd listened to certain songs, but I was driving to work one night and this artist came on. We have a local college radio station, KNTU Jazz, North Texas. Some of you may even have some North Texas Jazz Lab band records from like the 60s, 70s. They're pretty, they have a good jazz studies program, one of the best. And so they have the only jazz station in town. And I just happened to have it on. I was really in the mood for listening to that. And this album came on, and it kind of catapulted me into, you know, I'd always heard Blue Note, but I never really listened to it. And this record just, the song really came on, and I immediately went and eBay, and I looked for a couple weeks, and I had to have it. And that artist was Horace Silver. This is 6 Pieces of Silver. This is a first mono pressing. You can see the Lexington Avenue. I think I've showed it in a couple other videos before, but this was a big one for me. I have to say my favorite genre of music now is jazz, and I like all forms of music, but jazz is, obviously you guys can tell by my videos how they've changed. Jazz has kind of taken over as my favorite, so I credit this album and Mr. Silver for getting me into jazz in general. So that was very cool. All right, so last question, number 5, album in your collection with a great story. So I always look at Craigslist, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, that kind of thing for records, and every once in a while you score, but all the hardcore sellers and stuff are always on there looking too. So if it's on, at least here in Dallas, if it's on any of those for more than an hour, you're not going to get anything. So this lady, I emailed, or she had posted some records, and it wasn't that great of stuff, but it was in right by my work. So I kind of sent her a message it was on OfferUp, and I said, are you selling some records? And she says, yeah. I said, can I come by and look? She said, sure. I think it was on a Friday. She's like, tomorrow, Saturday morning, actually having a garage sale. If you want to stop by and check them out. I said, well, that works great. I said, can I come by? I work nights, so I said, can I come by about 7:30 in the morning? She's like, that's right when we're opening up. She said, that'd be great. I said, okay. And so I get there, and she's got like maybe 4 boxes of records. So I start flipping through. Some of them are kind of beat up and stuff like that, so it was kind of depressing. And it was all like, she had some Elton John and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. And I said, how much are these? She said, 2 for $1, so 50 cents. I said, okay, very reasonable. So I picked up a couple Elton Johns and stuff like that. And as I'm flipping, all of a sudden, this pops up. And I said, obviously not out loud, but I said in my mind, like, are we serious right now? So it came on with me, and I immediately got in the car and smile on my face, and that album was The Litter, Distortions. Obviously most of you know, I know Dylan at Noble Records knows, because he's sent me a couple messages on this, but I really couldn't believe it. Incredible garage rock. These guys are from Minnesota. If you haven't heard it, just YouTube it, or I think they have a couple links on Discogs. One of the most expensive albums I have in my collection, probably, and I paid 50 cents for it. So that's why you always dig. This was the only record like this in their collection too, or in their what they had for sale. There was no other garage rock, so it's kind of strange that this was in there, but I don't know. I can't explain it, and luck was on my side that day, so that would be my, album with a great story, how I acquired it. So, I hope you like that one, Chris. For the bonus, I don't have any crazy vinyl coma stories. I've shared several VCLT packages with people. I think I did it around Christmas time or just after. And I've received, some nice packages from Steve Carlson and Andre Lindeleg and Bill at the Vinyl Verse. So I've been on the giving and receiving end, and it's just a great thing. And anytime I can do it, I try. I'm probably not as good as I should be, but I always try. So yeah, 5 questions from Mr. Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave. Tonto, jump on it. 500 subscribers. Once again, congrats, buddy. And I know you're on your way to 1,000, and keep finding them jazz records and spinning them, and I just enjoy seeing what you find, man. Jealous sometimes, I gotta admit. Obviously that saxophone Colossus, extremely jealous on that. But yeah, consider you a friend. kind of, communicating back and forth on Instagram every once in a while. Probably not as often as we should, but always enjoy hearing your stories and hearing about your family, and hope all is well, and cheers to another 500 subscribers.